is so bad. Is it?
Charlie visiting attack.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I'm so good at this game. Hello and welcome to this Warno 1v1 game played on Mount River Duel. Today we've got Hungaricus playing 4th Z mech. Almost said it correctly then, my bad. Going up against tmanplays playing 27Y. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll take a look at the map, the matchup, the deployments, and the game. And as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for Hungaricus, and he's playing 4th Z mech. And we'll go through it tab by tab. So first tab, we've got 3 cards of supply here. That's pretty typical for, sort of late game decks, trash spam decks, RT spam decks. We do have some RT in here, but I think some of the decisions he's made are very strange. But yeah, 3 cards of supply makes a lot of sense. Then you've got the WD-40 Jeep, greasing the wheels of Poland here. And then you've got, so this is like 3 per card at 2 vet, which makes it one of the better CV helicopters, but it's still garbage. It gets spotted really easily. 1 manpad is going to kill it. 1 jet strafe is going to kill it. When it lands on the ground, 1 RT round is going to kill it, so I really don't like it. Then you've got this, which is tracked and 3 per card. It's got more armor than the car. And it's a little bit slower. It is slower on the road, and that will matter at the start of the game. It is cheaper. The thing is, though, right, that okay, interesting. So this is a wheeled CV. This is a wheeled CV. So do you really need this over this when they're both wheeled CVs? And you've already got a wheeled CV for your opener here anyway, and it's only 5 points more. So I'd actually prefer this one in this case. This is wheeled as well. It's not got smoke. If it did, I think it'd be really good. This doesn't have smoke either. It's mainly artillery won't kill this as much, whereas this really does pop like an egg to like 152 howitzer rounds, just going to obliterate it. Whereas this can survive artillery a lot more, makes it a lot more survivable. So I'd actually swap this one out for this, because in the inf tab you've got a CV here, and it's coming in a wheeled vehicle, right? 165, and yeah, so it's a decent squad. Let's look at all the CV squads in this deck. So we've got Mad Matt, so this guy develops the game, and that is him. Somebody asked him about it, and he said, "Yeah, I'm in every game at least once," so that this is just his face basically, and he's Polish apparently. I believe he's French, but in this case he's Polish. So he sadly his CV squad is suboptimal. So for 50 points you get 7 men, a coma. Now I can't remember if these are still bugged or not, but they certainly used to be bugged, in that they will one shot a 2 arbor vehicle, even though something with 13 pen won't. Something with 14 pen won't, something with 15 pen won't, but this will one-shot a 2 armor vehicle at 12. It's just a problem in the damage tables, which I pointed out to them, so I don't know if they fixed it. And that is one thing that does make Poland overperform slightly. But anyway, 7 men with smoke and a rocket launcher is not so bad. And this is 6 men with no smoke. So this Mad Matt is definitely better than Dow Seperzi here. Then for 5 points more, you've got 8 men with an SVD and smoke. So for 5 points more, you get 1 more man, and you get an SVD. An SVD is like 2 machine guns. So it's a much better squad. You don't really want them engaged, basically ever. But for 5 more points, I think it's worth it, really. But a lot of it's about the transport. This is coming in a truck, or this, which is slow, it's tracked. Whereas this is coming in a truck, or it's coming in the Scott 2A, which is fast because it's wheeled. It's also faster off-road. That's just a thing in this game. Obviously in real life there's a reason tracks exist, and it's because they're faster off-road, but slower on-road than wheeled. Whereas in this game wheeled's just faster all the time. I think it makes sense just from a ease of remembering things. Wheel go fast, right? Anyway, then we've got this. This is an ATGM. We're not going to be making any jokes about it today. And your choices are a car or a Scott 2AM, which it does have two Malyukas, which is not very many, for 40 points and bad stealth. I don't like it at all. Some people like it. I don't think it's very good. I'd much rather for 40 points, right? I mean, this is 25. Look at it. Look at it. It's just better. Anyway, I mean, it's slower, but... So yeah, I think in the US makes sense. Then we've got Sapezi in the Scott too. So 25 points for a Dushka. A Dushka is slightly worse than a KPVT. I believe it's just got 50 cal stats as opposed to KPVT, which is slightly better. Um, so yeah, I mean the main advantage. Sadly, it's not got smoke, but for 25 points, it's faster than this, and it can get you to where you want to go. It's actually got the same HP, so it's mainly about the armor. So yeah, I think it makes sense to get this. And then we already spoke about the CV. Commandozi. So you got some choices here. They're not forward deployed. 55 points for. So there are two types of, and they're both called Commandozi, which is kind of annoying. The Commandozi in Polish Donkey Kong is wow. I mean, you wouldn't expect to see this on a Polish vehicle. Yeah, Poles. Whoa, Poles. Not huge fans of Russians. I met one Polish guy who keeps LARPing as like a Russian trooper, but his brain has been addled by too much anime. So yeah, I don't know if he's able to express those views in public. Anyway, so you get him in, you can get him in the Honker, right? And the Honker is a special forces Honker, so it actually goes faster, and the higher the veterancy, the faster it goes. So this will actually go at like closer to 120, 130 kilometers an hour, something like that. And so you lose to availability, but you get super speed. Your other options are these transports, which aren't special forces. The thing is, though, it's not airborne forward deployed or recon forward deployed, whereas this is, and it does something very similar. Well, let's skip ahead. So this is basically the same thing, right? Special forces transport. This is actually classed as special forces, which is interesting. I didn't know that. Oh, but it's not on the Donkey Kong one. Interesting. Anyway, so the Special Forces Transport. So this is the one that you should have at max vet because, well, basically Special Forces benefit more from max vet anyway, but this is your opener, and it will go faster at 3 vet than it does at 2 vet because of the way Special Forces work. I don't make the game. And so it's very important that this one is at max vet. This one doesn't have to be at max vet. Well, I mean, it still can be, right? And they will benefit more from that than regular squad would because special forces have their own veterancy curve. You see this is different to this. It's mainly about this rate of fire thing. The stress recovery you see is a lot higher. So yeah, I think it's good to have it at max vet. What I would say is you could get 4 rocket helos. It might help you in the late game, right? And you don't need these out at the start. But having 4 rocket helos is not bad, right? It's expensive, but you build them up over the course of the game. Just something to consider. You do lose momentum. Anyway, Pycho to Zmech SVD. So this is a great squad. We spoke about how DMRs are 2 machine guns, and a machine gun is 2 rifles. It's actually slightly more than 2 rifles, which is why something like Pumachiki is a lot better than you think it might be. But 2 point something, right? So it's just easier if we just say 2. So this is 4 machine guns, which is 8 rifles, which means they fight with the strength of 12 men. It's actually not so bad, right? This is a very cost-effective vehicle. For 25 points, you compare this to like literally anything NATO gets. It's crazy how much better this is. The disadvantage is it doesn't have smoke. But it's got the Grom, which is a lot better than people seem to give it credit for. Mainly against vehicles, not against infantry. The Malyutka, good against vehicles, and the PKT, which, shoots at infantry. And yeah, it's 25 points, which is the main advantage. And so, yeah, basically he's just spamming these out all day, which I think is fair enough, really. Then he's got an anti-tank team, which he's brought in BWP1, so he's very much going for the BWP1 spam here. I'd be more tempted to bring this in the Scott 2A. I mean, you can bring 2 Malyukas. Because these guys, well, to be honest, they've got their own rocket launchers, but typically when you're fighting in forests or whatever, it's these guys with these guys. But I mean, BWP1s are very good at spamming, so it all makes sense. What I would say is that, you know, uh, yeah, you've got no wheeled. Well, I suppose these were the wheeled AT squad until I put them in this. But yeah, I don't know. I think Scott maybe. And yeah, if you bring them at 2 vet, fair enough. I mean, do you really need more than 4 of these? Probably not. I always bring stuff like this, and I'm like, I'll send it round the sides, and I just forget to do it. So yeah. Shout out to this squad, really good at helping win town fights. Really snazzy helmet. They like to play noughts in noughts and crosses, and they've got military police, which means that they're buffing up everybody around them, and they've got security. So when they stood still, they've got good optics. But yeah, your infantry slots are kind of expensive on this division, which is weird because you'd assume it wouldn't be. The Reese is actually really quite good. This is definitely worth bringing if you can fit it in somewhere. Question is, can you? Well, with these being 3, you probably can't. But the Reese is proper decent. Um, but yeah, I don't know. Sometimes you do need an anti-tank squad. And yeah, I'd be bringing it in the Scott 2A personally. And maybe downvetting it by 1. But, I mean, it's not my deck. And this was in wheeled anyway before, if you recall. Arty tab. So if you got 3 cards of supply, right, basically 1, 2, 2 is garbage. It really is very bad. You can upvet it as much as you want. It doesn't matter. So given that you've got 3 cards of supply, I'd be bringing up one of these. Right, now if you want to smoke, you can use this to smoke. I think this in the Scott 2 would be better for smoke. But, well no, because you got to micro this anyway. This could shoot from further away, right? But yeah, so I'd be bringing this in the Scott 2 for smoke. The reason it's in the Scott 2 is because this isn't armoured and this is, so this will survive a lot of counter battery. You know, if the rounds are coming in and you load it up in time before the rounds hit, you can save your mortar team, whereas this wouldn't. And then instead of this 1-2-2, I'd be bringing the RM70. The reason you bring this over the Grad is for 20 points more, you get twice the rockets. So you're basically paying 20 points for an additional Grad strike. The other advantage is that it will begin... So if you only shoot the first 40 rounds, it will begin reloading immediately, as opposed to you then having to drive to the supply and get it to reload and so on, which means your effective fire rate's a little bit faster. And all that for only 20 points more. I think it's worth it. And you can always put a CV with it, right? Like this one. Like I said, I prefer this one, but, you know, it is what it is. Tank tab. So the one advantage this division has is it gets the most coffin launches in the game. But having said that, in a 1v1, you don't really need more than 2. So I can understand why he's only brought 2. Because I've had games where I try and bring loads, but I just can't keep them firing all the time. There aren't enough targets, basically. But yeah, these are very, very effective. And that's basically the only good part of the division, is that it gets the most coffin launches in the game. But because you only really need 2, it just doesn't matter. So he's only brought 2, right? So he's got the CV tank, 2 top armor and what have you. All T-55s got buffed to base 8 fire rate, because Pact isn't allowed to have bad equipment in this game. Warno is a game made in Vladivostok. But what that means is that these tanks are actually a lot better than they used to be. Specifically, this one really punches above its weight for 80 points. Although, I suppose if you compare it to a BMP too, 60, it doesn't. But yeah, these are very, very effective. And you get quite a lot of them in this division. So yeah, we've got the Meridia without the coffin launchers, and he's got this at 2 vet, and then he's got some at 1 vet. Because yeah, would you really need, 12 in a game when you've got all these? Probably not, right? So that's something. And then yeah, 1 vet, and then these at 2 vet. I bring them at 2 vet as well, depending on the div. I don't play this div that much. But yeah, I think it makes sense because you get them out at the start and they stop being useful in the late game because they run into an M1A1. But at the start of the game, they're pretty key. The thing is, so I've seen Belarus Border Service bring just 27 of them at no vet as Berlin gropers, and he beat me. Well, I won one of the games and he won two. Um, so yeah, that can work as well. But no, I think bringing him at two vet makes a lot of sense actually. And then BRDM2 Conkers, which is a really effective unit. Good stealth, good speed. Goes around the side, shoots people with Conkers. And then the Maryutka. Now, what I would say is, like, I mean, I feel like these have been upvetted for no reason other than he's not bringing more than 4 of these. But I literally always bring 6 of these on every division I get them in. And I know it says just this one, but it's literally in almost every pack division. I'm always bringing them all. And especially given that, you know, your ATGM situation is diabolical, I'd actually be tempted to down vet these. But, you know, if you're playing a game and you're not bringing them all, then, well, you don't need them all, do you? But yeah, I think you need as many as possible, personally. Recon tab. So we spoke about this and how this needs to be at max vet, so it gets the super speed. And so this has only got a recon forward deployment as opposed to airborne forward deployment, which is 1,015 meters or something. It's some stupid reason. Like it's over 1,000 meters better. It's like 3,500 something. But this will get there first on most maps if it's at max vet. Unless it's Delta Force, because they've got the same thing going on and they're airborne forward deployed, right? But yeah, that's very important. Then we've got Zwyad in this. I mean, I don't think this is very good, but we'll see. I don't think this is very good at all. I'd just be bringing him in the car. But yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's got mediocre stealth, which can help, and given that he was up there in these, might make sense to have 4 more here. Then this is useful. It shoots people. What I would say is for 4 points less, you get exceptional optics, which I think is actually worth it. Exceptional optics is good. You see further. You do lose an availability, which is kind of annoying, but it's literally cheaper. I mean, this has 2 guns on it. It does more damage, but the exceptional optics is really useful. So I'd be tempted to bring the exceptional optics, right? And if you want to shoot people at the start with a gun, this has got a gun on it anyway. And at max vet, the DPS this outputs with the special forces trait is actually really big. Anyway, then we've got 3 autocannon guys, as opposed to, well, to be honest, for 20 points more, it probably makes a lot of sense. And it's the same availability, so it probably makes sense there. That's 4 men. Interesting. AA. Okay. So basically, first OSAs out are at 2 vet, and the next ones are all at no vet in case you need lots of OSAs. This is presumably for the deployment, so you can shoot people. Listen, this is really good. And you get 2 cards of it. It's probably the best part of the div. So how do we fit this in? Well, you could get rid of your 2 vet OSAs, or you could get rid of this. But this is just so good at shooting at infantry. It's so good at doing that. And it's only 30 points. And I think it's very, very useful. So it'd be great if we could find a place to put this. Imagine a world in which, so like this was at 4 and this was at 5. Well, if you down vet this, you get 2 more, and then you could get rid of this, and then that's 3 points, and then you can. Well, to be honest, you need the ATGMs. I think you need all of those. Are you so slot cost limited on this div? You could get rid of your 2 max vet OSAs, but that's going to mess up your opener a bit, because they do get, you know, 10% more accuracy. And then they miss anyway, and then you start getting upset. But this is so useful. Thing is, right, so if you've got this for your wheeled opener, what's this for? I'd be getting these. This is so good. So good. This had its aim time go down to be synchronized with the rest. This one does get 5% more accuracy, but it costs 10 points more, right? So basically you're comparing these two for the same availability. You're paying 10 points for Strelas, which you don't need. I'll just edit that part out. Helo tab, so this is some Cocons in the air, which you do need. And then this is Phalangers, which are good. And then this is crap, in my opinion. And I think you should be bringing 2 more of these. But hey, maybe this will work in the game. Like I said, I don't really play this div that much, so maybe it'll work, right? I just think it's overpriced for what it is. Just don't think it's that good. Air tab, this should really be 3 per card, because the stat clone ones on DDR are 3 per card, but it isn't. There's another reason this div kind of sucks. And this one's kind of garbage. So for the same price, you know, you might as well get the one that shoots further and is just better. I mean, its HE missiles do less... Sorry, its Sidewinder missiles do less damage, but he gets more of them. He gets twice as many, and they have 10% more accuracy. So, like, what? This air tab is crazy, right? And then you don't get the rocket planes. Yeah, so Cluster AT are probably the best 2 to bring. And the slot costs are just so expensive. So yeah, that's it for 4th Z mech. Like I said, I think it's just not a very good division. So these are my played divisions, right? And it'll probably, yeah, it's right at the bottom there. This is a bit wrong. I have played it more than twice, so I'm not sure how it calculates this. I suppose if I play it in the testing environment, maybe it doesn't count it. But anyway, as you can see, I don't play it much. So there's a limit to how useful I can be. And then going up against him, we got tmanplays playing 27Y. And yeah, we'll go through this tab by tab. So 3 cards of supply, as we spoke about. Your other supply options are like just 2 cards of this, but you only want 1 card of this. This is the cheaper one, and this is the bread and butter. It's very cost efficient. It's just this is armored and it's cheaper, and sometimes you can fit it in. Then he brings this at 2 per card. Your other options are for half the price. You can bring this at 2 per card. And, like, do you really want that CV in combat? Given the fact that you can literally buy 2 at the start of the game and save 10 points. And have it still not be in combat. But having Smoker or Conkers, I mean, we'll see. We'll see if he uses it in combat. Maybe it'll be very effective. I mean, it is a BMP too, after all. But I'd be bringing this, personally. Inf tab, so this is the original pancakes, and they've got a very good AT on them, and you just send them around the sides and shoot people. It's a lot of fun. Then he's bringing the Saperi RPO, so basically I used to say the satchels are always better. Satchels are better than Flash, and Hand of Flam Patron, and most of the other ones, but the RPO, well actually, are there any other ones? The Reese, they're not better than. The Agi, they might be better than. Anyway, the RPO is really cool. And so I bring these at no vet, and basically you just make sure there's an infantry squad in front of them. They come up, they shoot their RPOs, they leave. So they don't need the veterancy. Because veterancy is suppression resistance. So they don't need that. Then we've got Motostrokey RPG 26 in a BTR 80. I'm really surprised he's not bringing the Motostrokey metas. So for 5 points more, you get a Metis. You do lose a man, but you get a Metis which shoots further and has more pen and can still fire in forest. So I think he's missing a trick there by bringing this squad instead of the Metis squad. So let's swap that out. Then he's just got BMP2 AG spam. Basically, so this is 40 points, RPG 27, and the AG gets a grenade launcher for 5 points more, and retains its smoke, unlike the BMP 1, which loses its smoke. So it's a really big deal, actually. So this is actually an extreme... Like, if you think the regular BMP 2 is OP, this is even more OP. Just eviscerates infantry with the autocannon PKTAGS combo. So yeah, he's bringing 2 cards of those, and then 2 cards of BMP3 at 1 vet. BMP3 also very effective, but it's very expensive. But yeah, the autocannon's even betterer than the one in the BMP2, because it has 1 more pen. And that's it, apparently. It's got 1 more pen. Okay. did think it was a little bit better than that. I thought it's even got less ammo. But yeah, this tank gun, quote unquote, can only shoot HE as well, but it fires at the same time as the autocannon, I'm pretty sure. But it can't fire at the same time. This ATGM, incredibly effective ATGM, 18 pen, enough to one-shot BMP2s. And 2,800 meters range, is super fast. It's got high accuracy. This thing's pretty cracked. One of the reasons PACT is better than NATO, basically across the board. And then 3 PKTs, one here, and I think one like coaxial or something. Might be, yeah. There's one there. So yeah, it's very strong, but it costs 100 points, and if you use it willy-nilly, then you start to run out of money pretty quickly. And then between the Conkers and the Conkers M, the Conkers M is a lot better, because it deals 23 pen. So 18 one-shots 4 armor, 19 one-shots 5 armor, 20 one-shots 6 armor, 21 one-shots 7 armor, 22 one-shots 8 armor, 23 one-shots 9 armor. And it's got tandem, so it deals +1 damage to ERA. So 9 armor is a Leopard 1. The one on the left one-shot's a Leopard 1. At 9 armor. Like Leopard 1A5, whatever. So I think it's worth it. And it's got the extra accuracy. You do lose availability, but I do think it is better. RT tab, so you know, you got choices here, right? So this is nice and cheap for 152 millimeters. It's nice and cheap, right? You compare it to this one, and it's got better range as well. For some reason, it has less AP. Oh no, it's got more. Oh, okay, interesting. Despite it being the same caliber, and it goes further, so it is better. But and it's like, well, you're saving many points. You're saving 65 points. The advantage of the cats here is it doesn't get counter batteried, and you don't have to micro it for the whole game. Now, I used to be very much on the cost efficiency side of things, just get used to the micro, whatever. But the more I play the game, the more convinced I am that that is a losing argument. And it's better to just save your micro and not get counter batteried. You know, and use your micro on other things which are going to win you the game. Maybe I'm just getting older. My favourite's this one, because it's the laser-guided one. So basically, it has less range, but if you have recon in the area, this gets corrected shot, which makes its dispersion circle really small, and then you don't miss. So I vastly prefer the laser-guided one. But yeah, he's gone for the cheap one. I mean, keep in mind, it's literally 115 points more. But it comes at 2 per card, right? So I think it's a lot better, actually. I'd be bringing this. Anyway, so mortars for smoke in the MTLB, because it can survive counter battery, but it's tracked, unlike the Polish one, which is wheeled. And it's nice and cheap. For twice the price, you can get the same. That's weird. It's got more HE. Despite it being the same caliber. But its trajectory will be less. Basically, for smoke, I'd prefer the Nova SVK for the same reason. And you'll notice that I always used to talk about the mortars and how great they are for smoking, but I've started paying more for a self-propelled smoke howitzer, like an Abbott or a Gvozdika, or in this case it would be a Nona SVK. This one, sadly, you know, it doesn't really have a lot of rounds, but just surviving counter battery is very important, especially as like the average player skill is going up as people watch more and more hippie YouTube videos, and that means your smoke mortars are going to get counter batteried more and more because I keep telling everybody to do it. So I actually prefer the one on the left. But it is twice the price, right? But it's only one less availability. And it goes further. And you know, obviously the 120... Well, actually, do the shells land first? Depends how close you are. If the Nona's really close, its shells will land first because the mortar trajectory is always like this, whereas the howitzer one is like this. So there's less ground to cover. So yeah, I do prefer the Nona for the smoking these days. Also, I've never seen tmanplays smoke ever, so I'm just surprised this is in the deck, to tell you the truth. You might be better off going for a grad or something. Or maybe he could upvet these and bring two of them or what have you. Never seen him smoke. Anyway, tank tab, so Conquer's M. So maybe that's why this is a regular Conquer's and not a Conquer's M, because there's Conquer's M here. Then the Sprut in the Gaz. Let's see how useful it is. I mean, if it can hit you, it's really going to mess you up. This will one-shot like a BMP2 at this range. But how many times are you getting into this range? I don't know. And the accuracy is not great. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Then we've got T80 BVs and two T80 BV command tanks. So there you go, 3 CV cards there for a total of 6 CVs. And these, these are T80 BVs. They do T80 BV things. People say they're weak. People are so stupid. Just watch me. Don't listen to these naysayers. The reason they say they're weak is because the BMP2 is so ridiculous and it comes in the same division, so they just think it's weak. What I would say is, no grenade launcher squad could help you. But yeah, I don't really see the point in these guys. I guess they work as like infiltrators, but they don't have airborne forward deploy. They're only 4 strength. I mean, they can work as infiltrators if you're going to actually do that. Like, are you actually going to do that? You got to be honest with yourself. At which point, I'd be getting rid of this, and I'd be bringing the Commanditura in the UAZ Commanditura. I think this is so strong. The Commanditura help your guys in the infantry fight. You cannot vet it. And then the key point is the military police transport. You got to make sure it doesn't auto-sell, but you just click it, Shift F, click your BMP2. It'll follow your BMP2 around and give it suppression resistance. Shift F, click your T80 BVs. It'll follow your T80 BVs around and give them suppression resistance. And the infantry, you can just right-click on your your motor strelky squad, and they'll just follow them around and give them suppression resistance. It's really useful. And I think it's probably more useful than this, because if you want high... You've already got a high AP thing here. It doesn't really have the range, but it is high AP. And you're going to be bringing lots of this, because literally they all get it. So I don't really think you need the opportunistic potatoes. So this goes with your tanks, and it gives you tanks exceptional optics. Very useful. Spetsrazvedka and the BTR-80, good. They've got GSR, They've not got airborne forward deployment. No unit in this div has airborne forward deployment, and they also don't have that special forces funny thing. But this is 100 kilometers an hour transport. Many forward deployments come in 90, so that's decent. And it's got smoke. It's a pretty decent vehicle. Also, it's got 10 HP, unlike BTR-60s, which have 8. It's like the only APC with 10 HP. It's very strange. Well, it's the only wheeled one, 10 HP. And then motorized Razvedka and the Razvedka BMP2. So this is just cracked, basically. And basically you want it at no vet, so you can bring as many as possible. The reason this is so strong is the mediocre stealth. That's what makes it strong. Because it shoots its conkers, it shoots its autocannon, and you can't see it, even though it's just pouring out fire. Something to do with how much noise this makes, how much noise the autocannons make when they fire. It should definitely be higher. So yeah, you want that at no vet, so you can buy as many as possible because they're broken. This is really good for sending around the sides and hurting people, but you can always do that with this. AA, so Igla, Strela, Tor. What is this, like a 1-point slot? Okay. So these are really good at hurting people, and how much AA do you need? Maybe you need quite a lot on this div, actually. But for starters, I'd be upvetting this. Because I never need more than 6, but maybe you do. And then the Strela 10 M3s, they've got... so compare this to the Tunguska. You lose 1 HE on the missile, which doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because planes either have 6 HP, 8 HP, or 10 HP. So 7 doesn't matter. Same with helicopters. What you could say is 7 on the missile, 1 on the gun, but it doesn't shoot the missile and the gun at the same time. And I asked them about this, and they said that's realistic, and we've done that on purpose. Okay, well I guess it's just crap then. enjoy being crap. So yeah, it's got more range. Actually, it's just better. It's actually just better. That's crazy. It's better because the missile isn't um it's not radar. So if you're worried about being seeded, you just turn off the gun. The missiles still shoot. The difference is the one on the right has full motion accuracy. The other one has to stop to shoot. Uh, and it's fire and forget, which means its second missile will fire faster than the Tunguska's because the Tunguska actually has to wait for the first missile to hit. So I think overall they're probably about the same. But I think the Tunguska's better because it's got the range actually, and the missiles have more suppression, which is important. More likely to route stuff. The yeah, but yeah, the Strela 10M3 will get more missiles off, but it'll do so at less range. So actually, I prefer the Tunguska, and it's got 2 front armor, which can help sometimes, but not that often. I actually prefer the Tunguska in this case. That's interesting, isn't it? Because this used to be better, but I think the price kept creeping up. So I prefer the Tunguska, having looked at that. And I'd be getting this so I can shoot infantry with the OP AA gun, right? I mean, do you need more than 7 AA pieces? Maybe you do. Helo tab, so your choices here are somewhat limited. You've got this, which has the 8 Kokons and 40 missiles. The one on the left, which has 4 Kokons and 20 bigger missiles with better range, which I honestly prefer. So I'd be bringing the one on the left for 5 points more, even though you get less Kokons, and I'd be bringing 2 of those. Because in what situation are you firing 4 Kokons and you're not dead? You know what I mean? You fire 4 Kokons and you're still in a position to shoot more Kokons. It's really quite rare. Usually, I mean, if you're against not a good player, then they'll just keep pushing and they'll die. But either they've ran away because they don't have AA, or they've suicided a jet into you, or they've brought up their AA and you have to leave anyway. So I don't think you need that many. And having the big boy rockets with the better range and the better accuracy, they do have. There are fewer of them, but supply cost is less. Right, it's going to reload faster once you get it to that supply truck. Accuracy is 10% more, so more of them are going to hit. So the one on the left, what's 20% of 40? Well, 10% is 4. So, no way, really. 8 of those missiles are going to hit. That explains a lot, actually. Wow. Yeah, because 10% is 4, which means 8%, 8 of those missiles, 8 of those missiles out of 40 are going to hit the enemy. The one on the right, 10% is 2, so 6 missiles are going to hit out of 20. And it's got more range, and the missiles do more damage. The one on the right's better. There's very, very few situations where you're able to get more than 4 Kokons off. If you are, you're against a bad player, and you're going to win anyway. Anyway, this is the MiG-29, the most cost-efficient fighter in the game. Although it has the not as good Sidewinders. It's still very, very good playing, mainly because of this. And then this is the other fighter, which is also very cost-efficient. It's got the same range missiles as any NATO plane, and these Sidewinders are better than any NATO plane in the game. This is 2 per card, but it's got the big boy missiles, and it's got Sidewinders. This is a very good AT plane. This is just a meme unit. You bring it if you enjoy losing. So yeah, that's it for the deck reviews. Now we'll get back to the... Whoa, my computer froze there. You know, timestamps in the description. Right, so with that out of the way, let's talk about the map. Mount River Duel. It is blue-sided. Not that much. Like, compared to most maps, it's not really so bad. But basically, these 3 grain silos allow blue to see further than atheists. And that gives you some commanding view. This one isn't that useful, to tell you the truth. But this one in particular is quite useful. And that does help blue in the center point. But it's not so bad. But it's just, yeah, so if you've got a toe in here, or a conkers, it can shoot up to here. He doesn't actually have Conkers in his deck, so that's not going to matter so much. This outer line here is 2,500 meters, and the Conker shoots 2,600. So you can shoot people on this road and behind this road. The way Red can solve that is just by manually pathing here. So it's really not the end of the world, but yeah, it's probably the most balanced map in ranked. That's my hot take, which is correct. So it's not really that hot, really. In terms of the matchup, 27Y is just much better. I mean, fourth is just not that great. Basically, it's just a bad version of the Polish 20th. It trades its T72s for T55s. It doesn't get as many BWP1 spam as 20th. It doesn't get BWP2s as 20th. Its Air Force is worse. Its RT tab is worse because 20th gets the Dana, which is just better. The advantage of 4th is that, and its infantry slots are really expensive. The advantage of 4th is that it gets the most coffin launches in the game, but in 1v1 you don't really need that many. In general, you just don't need that many. So he's brought 2. He's only actually brought 2. In general, it's basically just a challenge div. You get a lot of T55s, and T55s got buffed and are pretty absurdly cost efficient now, actually. So maybe that's an advantage. But yeah, 27Y. Basically, you'd expect 4th to win at the start because its stuff is generally cheaper. And then eventually the 27Y Juggernaut should just blow him out of the water. So, taking a look at the deployments, we got tmanplays on the left. Quite a heavy opening on the left, actually. Wow. So 2 Spruts. I clearly expect something to happen over here. BTR-80, he didn't bring the Metis, which is really weird, actually. So he brought this unit instead. So like regular motor strokey. And yeah, the BMP-2K on the left there. So really heavy on the left. I think this is massive overkill, really. And these units aren't mobile. They're 80 points. He's got auto cell on as well. So he's going to lose the transports. And so he's not going to be able to move these, right? So I think that's quite a weak deployment on that side. 1 Spetsrazvedka could go into here. So he's just given up on getting there first. Blue, of course, has the super honkers, so yeah. And then okay, so we've got another Sprut here. These only have 1925 range, so I don't really think that's very intelligent. Maybe it will be able to shoot guys on this road, but that's about it. Actually, yeah, it might be effective. I'd much rather have a BRDM2 Conkers or 2. And then 2 BMP-2AGs. These are the ones with the grenade launcher, as you'll know from the deck review, which you didn't skip. Very, very, very effective unit for 65 points, because the grenade launcher is so worth it. And you just keep your smoke, unlike the BMP-1PG, which loses its smoke for the grenade launcher. This one keeps it. So, yeah, he's unloading these here, so he can walk over. These are amphibious. Something to keep in mind. Spectre is basically the only map in rotation where that's going to matter, and it matters here because you can just sit them here and shoot people. But it is kind of weird that you can't see past this with that. Weird. But yeah, it can be useful to just put them in here, like put 1 in here. But you know, you lose a lot of speed, and they can just sit here. But if you're here, you can shoot your autocannon, and the guy here can't shoot his rocket launcher at you, and the guy over here can shoot you despite the fact that this says that it can't see that. Okay, interesting. So basically here would be useful. Yeah, it's not that useful. Spetsrazvedka go into Anna there and backed up by yeah, more BMP2s, a Tor, and another CV there. So yeah, BMP2 extremely this is basically just an absurdly good unit for 65 points. So yeah, I think 4th is gonna struggle there. Switching to his opponent's deployment, we got the Roz Specialny, and he didn't max vet them, so they'll get there slower than they should. Basically, special forces go... No, I said it in the deck review. You can just go back and watch it. So he's got 2 coming over here. 1 for Paul, 1 for this one. He should know that he will actually get to Anna before his opponent. And then 1 Razvedka BMP1. Yeah, and that's being backed up by nothing. In the middle, we've got 2 more honkers, 1 going to here and 1 going on the left, and then presumably he'll walk it up. And then we've got a autocannon helo. This at 2 vet. Then we've got 2 ATGM we can't name. It doesn't matter what I call it. People call me homophobic. But I can't read out the word because then I'd just get demonetized. So we're back to calling them diverse warriors. Obviously, people tell me I should call it a bassoon. I think you're a bassoon. Anyway, Conker's going there. You'll notice he's not put anybody in here because he doesn't actually have infantry Conkers, so he can't really take advantage of this spot. And then 2 of these, which I think are kind of garbage, but we'll see how they go. On the right, we got another honker. This guy is going further than the grain silo. Behind that, we've got another BMP-1 and another autocannon guy. This is actually going straight in. And the BMP-2 should kill it, but these obviously don't have... Well, yeah, the BMP-2 and the BTR-80 should kill it, really. Behind that, we've got... Okay, so he is actually pushing here. So I guess it made sense for T-Man to put stuff here. So 2 T-55s at 2 vet and an OSA at 2 vet. And then another 2 helos, another 2 of these helos. I'd be spreading those out just a little bit more there. But yeah, Mayuka's not the best thing ever. A BMP2 would survive this. So let's cast the game. Right, so they're off, and it's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. 1 join at the lowest levels worth 2,000 views. And at the highest level, they get the games cast at 1 per calendar month. So, you know, if you want to improve, it is, in my opinion, the best way to improve. Obviously, I'm benefiting from it. So I would say that it's worth noting that Blue hasn't actually bought any CVs, which is why he's got so many more units. So he's going really hard in at the start. He will fall behind on points because this is a +2, and T-Man actually spent 180 points on CVs. Going back to what we said in the deck review about how those cheaper ones, he could have got 2 CVs out for 80 points instead of 180 points. And these really just shouldn't be in combat anyway, because a bomber just comes and shoots them. So yeah, you got to be careful. Autocannon Helo begins engaging... Oh, we can actually see this guy. Okay, that was quite surprising. Given that, so basically recon units have exceptional stealth. And you see how much faster this got here than that? He could have got here before this unloaded. Obviously, he would then get obliterated by BMP2s, but just something to keep in mind. And this, if this was at max vet, you know, it'd be like there or something. So yeah, do max vet these. Do max vet these. Definitely max vet these. So these are very effective. He has killed some transports, and he killed the BTR-80. He's got to run away from the BMP-2s. And he loses the one on the right, and they are 60 points. So it's about even on trade so far. I do wish they had some graphs or something. T-Man not really reacting here to these, but they are 40% accuracy. And there you go, the second one hits. There are churches here which allow you to see further than atheists. And yeah, Hungaricus, obviously Hungarians are they Catholic? I can't remember actually. It's been a while since I played EU4. Are they Catholic in Hungary? Which side of the war were they on? Obviously, when you play EU4, people just go meme nations. I only ever used to play it in multiplayer. They're not Orthodox, are they? They're definitely not Protestant. I'm going to go out on a limb and assume that they're Catholic. But anyway, they see further. So, it's actually gone pretty well for Hungaricus so far, which you'd expect, because he didn't open any CVs. And here are the CVs. T-Man on a +2 tick. But, yeah, so Spruts have died, and this is the biggest problem for T-Man here. He's bought the Tor. The Tor is really garbage against helicopters, so that's not fantastic. And, yeah, Hungaricus, he needs to move up this OSA to here. Not that, you know, I mean, obviously we can tell nothing's happening right now. Well, there you go. Yeah, you know, Hungaricus basically ceded his advantage here. Like, he could have put this Ros speciality there or something, and then they would have just been a total pain in the neck for Red to clear out. Having said that, his force here is quite weak, so there's a case to be made. Almost said it. And the Moulding MiG goes down to the AA Helos and the OSA, so I missed that. So there you go, AA Helos goated now. It's worn over for me. People are going to be using those now. And, yeah, over the point I was trying to make before I got distracted for the umpteenth time is that this should be in this building because it can see further. And, T-Man didn't lose all his BMP2s. So if he just keeps playing it slow, he should just be able to just BMP2 his opponent to death. And we see that on the left. And on the right, he didn't really buy too many. But there you go, there's that 23 kinetic AP, really messing this up. It's got 11 armor and it lost a lot of HP there. I mean, it's only got 45% accuracy, but it's going to hit him eventually. Okay, now it's not. I mean, it did hit him. His first shot was a hit. This needs to be pulled back a bit light on the micro there. You see this is going cross water, and as is this. You got to be careful with those attack move orders, because they do start doing that. And the WD-40's got in. We do see the cluster purchased. And yeah, T-Man, he's got a problem here, so he prints some more BMP2s. That's basically how you play Pact. And a good idea focusing down the AA, and you see how he tries to drag it this way to... well, okay, you wanted to evac it over here so it doesn't get shot by AA. But yeah, it was smart trying to avoid the AA. Obviously it didn't work. But he maximised his chances. Getting hit twice is pretty... just bad luck, basically. Having these over the water isn't smart. Because they cannot land if a plane comes. I guess given that they're AA ones, maybe he doesn't want them to land. But as you can see, T-Man's pushing Hungaricus out of middle here, which you'd expect. But it looks like he might get Leonid. He is on a +2 now, given that he capped mid. But that's not going to last long. T-Man, he's up there. And Hungaricus doesn't really have any units here. LOS tools are an approximation. So you see this can see that it can be shot, but if you look at it from this side, it says it can't. It's just because it's an approximation. And Hungaricus, he's moving up here. The T-55s, you get a lot of value out of them, to be honest. I would have liked to have seen him buy more of those. But T-Man's also won on the left here, so... You know, it was a good start for Hungaricus, but this is basically what we said was going to happen. I don't watch these beforehand. I basically do it in the same order you do, except at the start where I say hello and welcome to whatever. I actually do that after the deck review. I do the deck review and then I record the whole game at once. So you know, it's as surprising for me as it is for you. These can't smoke. He really needs to unload this. So, okay. Well, he's been given a second chance at life. Will he unload it now? You hate to see it. Anyway, I mean, he could have brought this over as well and tried to help out or just done something there. Anyway, for T-Man, he lost a BMP2 to the T-55s. T-55s, well, this is 500 meters, right? Is that close enough? No, it's not. So, yeah, he needs to, like, get this here and get helping out. Otherwise, he's going to lose his ROSP. And the WD-40 Jeep goes down. To be honest, I would have just got that back here somewhere. Malyukas are shooting. Just, like, big who cares moment. They'd both have to hit. You see that? They actually just lost vision there. And then this is just going to hose them down with the auto cannons. I think these are too expensive. So, T-Man on a +4 now. Hungaricus bringing up some infantry. His infantry is better than T-Man's, but it comes in worse transports. I spilled some water there. I'll just edit it out. Hopefully the camera didn't pick it up. Do you ever get that thing where you drink too much water at once and then you start getting like heartburn or something as it slowly works its way down your throat? Anyway, Hungaricus, he needs a bit of recon in here so he can see some stuff. Like his Gviznogs went down. He's going for that BMP2. Tor hits him on the first one. Wow. 100% accuracy Tors so far this game. They haven't missed once yet. Wow. So 4 shots, 4 hits on these Tors. Wow. Tor good now? Tor good now? So yeah, pretty rough for Hungaricus. And you know, he's using these 265-point planes to kill 65-point BMP2 AGs, which... T-Man can just buy more of. He swapped into Arty, and he's bought them both at once, which I don't really agree with. I think he should be shoring this up a bit more before buying 2 Arty pieces. Helos are always a tough call, especially when, you know, you've got the Osas and so on. And yeah, Hungaricus, he's got this thing. It's pretty decent if it can get into range, mainly because it just stuns up the enemy. And these guys, they are on an attack move order there. Lack of noticing. So there you go, the Strela hit. The Strela both hit. Okay. So I think if the Strelas had missed there, it might have died. It's kind of hard to tell. But yeah, once you get to here, owning this point becomes quite easy. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but easy. Well, no, it does, because, I mean, you can just see down here. So that's something that's going for blue. And that's this Hibernetti. Okay, close enough. Will really mess up those infantry who don't have that much HP. Pie Chota have been deployed as well. This isn't cover, by the way. It's very important because you wouldn't think that it's not. But yeah, you'd expect the T-55 to win that fight, especially given that it's 2-vet. Some missing going on here. Over on the left side, no recon here for Hungaricus, so T-Man, he's got this really commanding view here. He can basically see all of these. And that's presumably what he bought the arty for. Yeah, there it is. But no, I think buying the arty was a big mistake when you're so messed up on this side, right? I just don't think that was very smart. And Hungaricus just bought ground units, and he's managed to stabilize the front line, and he's managed to take this. T-Man did get his Motor Strelky out, so that he just saved himself 80 points there. So, there's a case to be made for just chasing after these things with somewhat cheap, but the BMP-2's in a good supporting position here. BMP-1's engaging in the mid. And yeah, I think these spruts are kind of bad. Igla going down there. BMP-2's going to start shooting, so the Meridia has to come up to deal with that. The BWP-1s can't really stand a chance. And yeah, this is really smart from T-Man. And Hungaricus, he needs recon inf. He did manage to save his guys. He loses 2 units on the left to the very overpowered Razvedka BMP-2. BMP-2AG goes down to this. Must have been a side. Oh, he fired 2. Okay. And looks like Hungaricus has managed to retake mid. So he's getting a CV in there, which doesn't make much sense when he's got one here and he's still got the transport. He could have just sent this out. Saved himself 70 points there. Here we go. BRDM2 comes into position. It's like, whoa, hey, do you know there's a guy right here? Did you know about that? And yeah, and now he still can't see again. So this is why you need the infantry recon, and here it comes. More Pie Chota Z-Mech deployed. Literally drowning the opponent in Pie Chota Z-Mech. Triple Vet Osa coming into play here. Should get a hit. Wow, okay. 70% accuracy, not enough. But yeah, you see the BMP-2s, the power of the BMP-2s. And T-Man, he didn't react when that first shot went off. Or that second one. Or that third one. So he dies there. And Hungaricus, yeah, he's getting in. But it's just like this one command BMP-2 just killed all his stuff, actually. All his BMP-1s died. Needs to smoke this. Doesn't do so. So now his cohesion's low. And so now he might miss his next shot. Such is life for Zmek. Oh, I said it correctly. Such is life for Zmek. But yeah, he's managed to get in here. He needs to move this to a different building now, because now you've got this glowing band of blue coming out of here, and T-Man should be using his arty, which he bought. This arty has cost him this zone, so you'd want it to be fired all the time, really. On the left, so what's he spending his points on? Razvedka BMP-2s, which aren't too cheap, and a T-80BV. So, Pie Chota Z-Mech taking back the point on the left here, with another WD-40 Jeep buffing everybody up. And once he got the recon, and this is, you get these for 65 points. It's absolutely crazy. Which means that it is, he needs to reverse that Meridia. He's going to lose that Bemboy as well. I saw this image, which I will forget to put on the screen, of this Polish far-right politician holding a femboy, which I thought was very funny. I'm not sure how relevant it is. Yeah, so the T-80BV is shutting down this sort of armoured wave here. Armoured wave isn't really helping itself. Could just come over here a bit. And yeah, so Pie Chota Z-Mech, it's actually on a +4 now, so a bit of a turnaround there. I do like the Hungaricus in the backline. If it can find the Tor, it can kill it. And I guess that's what he's looking for. Or he could go for the arty, which is going to be hard because they're on a high traffic road there. And yeah, yet to see any smoke from either player. I think Hungaricus could benefit from smoke to shut down those BMP2s. But yeah, what a turnaround. What a turnaround. Just T-Man buying the Arty, and the Arty just really did nothing for him. He could have just bought one, right? And then kept buying frontline. And he bought this T80BV, and he needed more frontline. Like, Blue just bought frontline. He stopped buying planes and started buying frontline. And 65 times 4, right, is 140 times by... so it's just 280. So you can almost get 4 in a minute. Which is pretty powerful spam. And so 80 plus 65 plus 65 is... Oh, what is that? What, no, it's 130, not 140. 65 times 2 is 130, which means that you can buy 4 in a minute, because it's 260 a minute. So that is the best spam in the universe, I guess. So that's something to note. You'll note that this is target switching. It should really be... Then it lost vision on this, which is why it switched back. This isn't a good spot. I think it's about to not be. Okay, never mind. I think he saw him. And yeah, he's not going for the Tor, but he is going for the Arty, which is going to be a powerful kill. And yeah, Honkers in your backline is not what you want. You really... Like, if this was Max Vet, he'd got so much... He would have got so much value out of this. And now T-Man's in this problem where all this stuff's really expensive, and now he's just got to sit there and build up for a bit. He's got 10 minutes to sort this out. But yeah, Hungaricus he could do with, you know, sending something down here. Why not? Why not? Can't really get over this way. You'd have to use your amphibious capability, which is 25 points. Just go for it. Oh, it'll probably run out of fuel, actually. So, T-55 goes down. Hungaricus needs to get used to moving his units. He's chasing that Arty. He might get it, actually. See how it target switches? Oh, it might have lost vision there. But yeah, it all once your enemy gets to low cohesion, it actually swaps. But look at that. Look at the DPS on it. It is faster, right? Special Forces, right? So it should catch up. T-Man's healer went down before, if you recall. So it's interesting how these decisions stack up. If he was paying attention when that Osa came out and shot his helo, it'd be alive now, and then this wouldn't be happening. And so it is interesting. Like, when you're playing the game, you can't really see what's coming next. But it is interesting how these things happen. So he lost that Arty there. And I think, honestly, his front line collapsing... well, I wouldn't call it collapse. It's fallen back a lot. It all really stems from what we spoke about with the Arty purchases, right? And this is starting to get a bit crazy now, the BWP1 spam. The thing is, though, right? So this is why you don't put it over the water, because now he can't land it when this comes to kill it. Honker's probably going to go down there, and he can't land it. And the Osa misses. Might avenge, should do really, there are 3 AA pieces there. So he does avenge it, but if it was over the water, he could have landed that. And it would have made... If it was not over the water, he could have landed that, and he could have made it. You always want it behind trees or behind a building, because as you're landing, you will, you know, the trees will cover you for the last bit of the landing. This lovely bush here. And, yeah. In the meantime, T-Man, he's purchased some more BMP2s, and he's managed to take back Leonid. And if he takes this back, he'll only be on a -2. In the meantime, the BWP1 spam continues. Remember, they don't get smoke. See, very much all in on this. And this will one-shot those, which is... he's probably going to lose... Or he's losing lots of expensive units here. Well, okay. He's losing lots of units here. Like, look at... yeah. So not the best micro, losing the guys in the transports, right? It's not Broken Arrow. And, yeah, no smoke here. Like Hungaricus, he could have smoked this, maybe, and sat in it for a bit longer. This needs some more rounds. And so yeah, the comeback is real for T-Man, and this push from Hungaricus was very wasteful. He really could have done that a bit better. At these closer ranges, the T-55s, you know, because of the kinetic penetration, it goes up, and so the T-80BV stops being... I mean, it will still win the 1v1, but it becomes less and less useful in comparison. Because all the pens are high, and no amount of armor will save you from massive damage. So, and in general, T-55s have pretty good armor for the price. So, Yeah, this is not looking great for Hungaricus. I mean, T-Man, he can really just come all the way through here. Depends how ballsy he's feeling. On the left, though... Oh, here we go. So there's the coffin launcher. And you see how much damage it does there. Big damage. And, yeah, Hungaricus, he's moving up. What's this on? The Commandozi. Okay. Interesting. But yeah, the whole point is, right, so 20th Polish actually gets more BWP1s than 4th. So even if you want to do the 4th, because 4th is supposed to be like mixed motorized mechanized, so it gets the motorized ones, which aren't as cost efficient. So, yeah, you can see everybody's shooting, and that means somebody's dying. T-Man, he's doing a really good job rotating his infantry. We saw that back here as well, like a lot of guys surviving. This is pretty crazy. I'm just itching my leg here, if you don't mind. I don't know what it is. I'm just an itchy boy. I'm just like, big scratchy. I don't know. It was very odd. Anyway, big CV on CV action here, and the engine's been destroyed, which ain't great news. I mean, this should really be getting back, because it's getting hammered. But, you know, as soon as this smoke goes out... Right, so what T-Man can do now is use this and try and smoke in front of it. Or send this here and use the smoke on this. Or send this here and use the smoke on this. He's gone for clicking reverse even though the engine's destroyed, which is not a strategy which is going to work out. I mean, these are all missing, but he will eventually die here. Yeah, so he had plenty of time to react there. Basically, he popped the smoke, his engine was destroyed. These still have their smoke, and this is out of rockets, as he knew from the fact that it wasn't shooting him. So he could have sent the fast move these down here and press B, and then they would have smoked, and he would have had a few extra seconds for this smoke to come in. I mean, it's an uphill battle, right? This finally missed something. It is an uphill battle. Oh, wow! So that was a really good shot. And there you go. So T-Man's AA getting the misses there. So yeah, Air's all big RNG. Like we saw before how he lost his cluster planes to 100% accuracy. And yeah, 1-2-2s are very bad. We spoke about this in the deck review. You see it's doing literally nothing there. So T-Man is a bit split now, and 27Y really wants to be fighting on one front, and then it can get its T-80 BVs and so on. And so he's split across two. The T-55s are a decent counter to BMP-2s. You got to get in range because of the Conkers and everything. And yeah, he doesn't get the one with Bastion ATGMs, which like 4th does, for example. Like they're all called 4th. I think 4th DDR is just a far superior version of 4th Polish. For 5 points more, you get one of these with smoke, and sure, you can't buy 4 in a minute. Oh no! Maybe my units will all survive. And you get better T-55s, because you get the ones with the Bastions. You get a better Air Force, and you get better infantry. And you get a similar number of tanks. I think 4th ZMech gets more tanks, right? But I think it gets more T-55s, perhaps. So that ended up dying to this, I think. Yeah, it must have been, because it's the arty one I got there. And yeah, 122 caliber towed howitzers. Nah, don't worry about it. Just get the... Because we spoke about the fact that he could have put an RM70 in his deck, rather than having 2 cards of these. And I think that would have been much more useful. But yeah, Hungaricus is back on the +4. Even though this has been taken. I guess because he got this fully booked. And he's taken this one. Yeah, it was this one, isn't it? Because he had this one last time we sort of discussed this. But yeah, T-Man, his units, like he's got a... It's difficult because obviously he wants to... Well, he should want to pick one fight and win it. But 4th Polish, because of its cost efficiency, is capable of fighting in all 3 places. And spreading out 27Ys. Very effective, but very expensive units. And so, you know, he's forced to have a T-80 BV here, a T-80 BV here, a T-80 BV here, rather than blobbing them all up, which is what you really want to be doing as 27th. You just can't afford to do that. So that could have got out of LOS there if he'd bothered to check, but he would have, I think he would have got there in time. So it's not a big deal. So yeah, the double helo thing is back. The Tor is here, and it can apparently see these. Because, yeah, this is ground vision, whereas this is the air vision. So you got to check it from the helicopter's perspective. Now I've got a itchy forehead. Anyway, so the T-80BV does not finish capping before reversing out the zone. So that's just a bit of a miss micro there. Could just literally just drive back in, because it saves your cap progress, for want of a better word. Helos go down to the Tor. Maybe Tors are good now. Wow. And this needs to get in the building, really. And, you know, this could be moved up to cap that, or what have you. But yeah, I mean, credit to Hungaricus. He's basically been attacking on all 3 lanes all game. More or less. I mean, there was a sort of reformation period here, and then he attacked. But yeah, in general, he's been attacking on all 3 lanes all game. And that is really messing up T-Man's ability to blob his units, right? I mean, he's bought a BMP-3 now, which I don't think is the play. And he's buying these tanks, but the tanks are just getting overwhelmed. They can't kill the units fast enough, so BMP-2s are the answer. But then T-55s are a decent counter to BMP-2s. But mainly, it's just sort of, you know, Hungaricus is just constantly pressuring. And there you go, eventually things like that start happening, where you know, you just miss a unit. You just forgot about that one, I guess, or didn't have the recon or what have you. Stopped here and got shot. Yeah, the coffin launchers, they're very cool. Would like to have seen them used a bit more. Like one coffin launcher here would be very useful. But I think he put them both on this. The fact that this is the AMS. Okay. I don't know where the other one is. Here would be great, right? They're not cheap though, right? You could get 3 BWP1s for that. And that's what it comes down to, really. So here we go. T-Man, he's back in here. Conkers can see that, apparently. What? Yeah, alright. Like we said, it's an approximation. It's seeing it between these 2 buildings. Like, you see that it does make sense for it to be able to see it. It's just, it basically checks for visibility every degree or every 2 degrees or something. You can tell by how blocky it is. And that means that it misses very narrow lines of sight. Meridia goes down there. That was a good kill. There was an Osa back here. I think Hungaricus has sort of done not a great job of keeping the Osa with the front line this game. Like, I mean, this should be dead. Or at least, you know, it would have been hit once and had to evac. So the 1-2-2s have just been sat there shooting and not really doing anything all game. You see he was shooting this while it was repairing and nothing happened. Do recommend that RM70 instead. And look, the Groms. The Groms are gromming. And yeah, T-Man, he's back in here. Look, that was a Grom side shot. He smokes. And yeah, you know, what I wouldn't give for some higher calibrati, maybe. There we go, coffin launcher out. Gets a good hit. I mean, it doesn't kill it, but it does some good damage. And soon the smoke will fade, and these sappers have AT. This guy needs to smoke here so that this stops shooting him, and then he could win this fight. But now he's not going to, because he's low cohesion, so on. This was on an attack move order, so as soon as it left the range, it began moving and lost its tracking. Otherwise, it would have kept its tracking for 2 seconds, so something to keep in mind that once it starts shooting, you just press E. And you also have to turn off cover, otherwise it just decides it really wants to go in the tree, rather than keep its shooting. This went down, presumably to the Grom of Doom, mixed with Komars and side shots and so on. I think T-Man's out of BMP2s. The Seria might get a kill on this T-80. It does, so that shouldn't one-shot it from the front, but it had lost 1 HP because of the T-55s. So that made it get one shot from the front there. Additional Saperzi purchase. These are so useful because they've got the AT. The Reese one is good. It's just I really like the Saperzi because they've got the AT. And given how infantry slot cost limited you are on this div, pays to be careful. And now these Serias, they're just doing a lot of work. And T-Man, he did have a MiG-29. I think it died here, didn't it? Dive in that helicopter. Yeah, it did. Not sure about that. Just really... How did he manage to shoot a... Oh, I see. Okay, I guess that made sense. But yeah, is he going to evac this or what? He's just going to keep sitting over those Iglas until they shoot it. Anyway, there we go. He got hit now. Got what he was looking for. T-Man's finally bought that fighter. And yeah, more 1-2-2s out. Like I said, they're really bad. Let's watch. These are at 2 vet as well. So he's got them at the highest veteran so you can get them. Wow. And then it moves. Wow, that was literally nothing. So yeah. I think Hungaricus needs to invest a bit more in ATs. He's losing a lot of Meridias here. I think he might be out of BMP ones as well. He stopped buying them. But yeah, you ever see Tiberius play 20th Polish? He doesn't actually bring BMP 2s, which I think is really daft, actually. And he just brings the BMP 1s, BWP in Polish service, right? But the BWP2 is literally a stat clone. It's not missing smoke or anything. And so I think that's a very silly Billy idea. But the idea is that you just get BWP1 spam for the whole game. So BMP3s... loving that packed equipment variety. You know, they are better. Are they better than 6 units shooting at them from different sides? Well, probably not. But one does get out. And these RPG-27 should just kill that Scot. Sapezi should win, but this guy's on 1 HP and he needs to get back here, really, before he dies. Because once they get in this building, they're going to shoot him. And Hungaricus still YOLOing down here. Needs some... Well, he's got some recon now. Needs some more AA. Needs another Rosa, perhaps, instead of 2 extra arty pieces. These are just so not worth it, man. They're just not good. He's got some... Oh, that was close. This is the coffin launcher, so I'm surprised he's not activated it. I guess he was waiting for the CV, but yeah, that was just not smart, really. He could have dragged it in this way. And then there's the surrender. So yeah, really good game from Hungaricus, who needs to recharge his phone. Rank 1 to 8 with 37 games. So yeah, he clearly must watch Hippie YouTube videos. tmanplays, of course, everybody's heard of him. Rank 11 at the moment, with 3,764 games. Which, you know, you play more, you get better. But look, this is the Hippie YouTube video effect, right? You can play 3 times, well, almost 4 times fewer games, actually. Yeah, almost, yeah, no, it is. It's 4 times fewer games. That'd be 3,800. Yeah, almost 4 times fewer games, but because he watches those Hippie YouTube videos, and he likes every video, which helps the algorithm recommend it to more people, then he just does really well. But really, T-Man shouldn't have bought that RT, really. I think that's where he lost the game. And he should have respected the 4th Z-Mech spam. I almost said it correctly then, a lot more. So I hope you enjoyed that game, and I will see you in the next one. GG.